Check my test. Okay, great. Fire away.
Good. What's the goal today? What are you trying to accomplish?
You know, we think about 1,300 people from all over the state. We think 88 counties are represented. And the whole idea is to exchange ideas. What I have seen as I travel around the state for the last few years, that the communities that are really making some progress in this area are communities that have come together, and it's really been almost a spontaneous grassroots effort to do things and bringing everybody together, the business community, law enforcement community, the educators, the service clubs, but also the faith-based community. So you're going to see a lot of pastors and ministers here. So what we're doing today is just trying to exchange ideas. When you sit there and watch the videos that we've done and watch the things that we're kind of highlighting, you'll see that they were all really grassroots, kind of made up at the local level. And so we want people to leave here with additional ideas. If they come away with one idea that they can actually implement in their community that makes a difference, then certainly the trip here has been worth it for them.
It feels like we're having a lot of press conferences, a lot of announcements about different initiatives to deal with heroin and the drug epidemic that the state is dealing with. Overdose numbers come out. They always are on the rise. It feels like we're having more record numbers. When do we start to see, when do you think we'll start to see some of the impact of some of the efforts that you're doing today on these kind of things?
You know, we're already seeing the impact of these efforts. And what's, I think, really important about this is that this is not from the top down. This is not Mike DeWine standing up there or the governor saying this works. What we're highlighting today is things that have come from the local level. And so what we want them to do is to share those ideas. Those local efforts are already making a big difference. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is I don't think we've bottomed out of this opiate epidemic yet. I think we're still probably going down. Our data is always behind, so it's hard to tell, but just anecdotally it looks like to me, you know, we're certainly not out of this, or we're not even starting to come out of this. The good news is that lives are being saved every single day in local communities by people who are doing things at that local level, getting someone into treatment, helping them stay in a treatment. When they get out of treatment, making sure they don't go back to the same neighborhood, maybe give them a transition. New ideas are starting to spread in regard to K through 12 education. We've got schools now that are actually starting to implement that. But all of it is at the local level. And so it's I think, a very good thing. People should not lose faith. They should not lose heart. You know, they can make a difference in their community. Are we going to save everybody? No. But can we save some people? Yes, we can, and they're being saved every day. And we just want more communities to be engaged and do that.
This is the second year for this program. Do you see this happening for many years to come?
Well, I think as long as we have ideas to share that you know, aren't really getting out any other way than a meeting like this, I think, yeah, we'll continue to do this as long as it makes any sense to do it. I mean, what you're going to see as you sit there today is, you know, it's not Mike DeWine coming up with a list of things to do. It is people, the peers of other people here, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's treatment people, whether it's educators, who are sharing ideas with other people. That's what really is all about.
Do you expect real progress? What real progress have you seen as a result of the kind of the meeting of the minds here?
We've seen a lot of progress. I mean, you know, we can show you counties and communities where they're clearly saving lives. Every week they're saving lives one way or the other. It's hard to quantify because, you know, how do you quantify something and say, well, this life would have been lost but for this program? Kind of hard to come up with that. But anecdotally and just looking at it, you can see that there are a lot of these programs, and I say programs, many times they're not formal programs, they're spontaneous. They're a way to try to deal with the situation, the crisis we're in. I mean, what I hope people see today is some very pragmatic ways, things that they can actually implement, things that they can do in their community so they can take that back home and actually do something that matters.
Can you give me one example, just something jump out of an idea that came out of last year's conference that you thought was a good idea?
Sure. You know, what Lucas County is doing in regard to the sheriff's office going to the hospital when someone overdoses and then really focusing on that individual and walking them through the treatment program and then really almost one of the deputies almost being a sponsor of that person for months and months. We have started to see some communities that are implementing some variation of that. So, that was a big idea the sheriff had, and we're seeing some other communities that are picking up on that.
Okay.